Hey everyone, today we are going to talk about the Monroe County Local Rider, and this is an addendum that gets attached to the regular as-is contract when you make an offer. So stay tuned, we're going to go over all the details of that in just a minute here. Alright, welcome back. My name is Amy Primo and Thomas Garden. We are local real estate agents here in the Keys. If you guys are looking to buy or sell, give us a call. My numbers and info down here. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to go over the Monroe County Local Rider and what the details and important factors and aspects in that rider that you should be paying attention to. Alright, so it's a windy, cloudy day here in the Florida Keys, but we are still making a video for you. And we're going to talk about the Monroe County Local Rider, as I already said like 3 times. But this is a rider that gets attached to the as-is contract. So the as-is contract is like your standard Florida contract. And what the local rider does is basically bring into play issues that we only have down here in the Florida Keys, and it addresses those issues. If you want to see what the Monroe County Local Rider is, go to our website, www.movingtothefloridakeys.com. I've got it on there. You can upload it and you can look at it yourself. But I'm just going to go over like the main big things I think on the rider that you should be aware of. So one of the parts on the rider deals with governmental inspections. And typically your agent is going to check no to this box. A lot of sellers don't want the government, Monroe County, going into their house and inspecting it. A lot of times that's going to open up a whole new can of worms. So typically the seller is not going to want you to allow governmental inspections. If you're the buyer and you really want that, I mean, you can ask, but I'm going to say most of the time the sellers are going to want no on that box. Open and expired permits. The as-is contract has the open and expired permits responsibility set for the buyer. So the buyer needs to take care of those things in the as-is contract. What the Monroe County Local Rider does is shift the responsibility. So now it makes the seller responsible for closing out those open and expired permits, which makes more sense because it's their property. So typically you'll see that marked check that the seller is responsible for closing out all open or expired permits. Alright, downstairs enclosures. Downstairs enclosures we have to make an entire video on because it's a lot to deal with and to go over with you, and it's a little bit of time. So for the downstairs enclosures, you know, we're talking about basically a lot of times the space under the house that's supposed to be used for storage only. If it's a ground level house and you're below flood, then that is considered a downstairs enclosure. So it gets really messy. As a seller, you need to disclose everything, like disclose. That's like how you are most protected. But I'm just going to read it because there's a lot right here as to what happened in Monroe County. So for downstairs enclosures, Monroe County, there's an ordinance, and that started March 7th. And this ordinance requires a governmental inspection of downstairs enclosures for properties where construction began on or after June 15th, 1973. Now, Monroe County does not conduct these inspections. Nobody's conducting these inspections. However, it's written into the code, like you're supposed to have an inspection done, but there's no way to have it. The ordinance grants buyers the right to pursue a civil action against the seller if the inspection has not been carried out. Okay, so that's what the code says. What we did with our Monroe County Local Rider, which we use on all of our contracts, is we added in this disclosure, or this, get exactly the right word, but additional term for this. So what it says in our Monroe County Local Rider is that by acknowledging this, the buyer agrees to waive all civil remedies stated in the ordinance, and any potential issues will be addressed through other means, such as those outlined in the contract provided by Florida law. So what we did is basically, kind of just waive the civil remedies for the buyer and the seller, because we don't want the buyers going back and trying to sue the sellers over the downstairs enclosures. A lot of times with the downstairs enclosures, you've got, living area, or someone said that this is permitted and it's not permitted, and you have to go back to the county records. It's a really gray area, and the more you disclose, the better off you are. This is the area that most sellers get sued on, so you have to make sure you're very careful and are disclosing everything that you can to the buyer. And we'll do another whole video on downstairs enclosures, because you guys are probably confused right now, but no, that is an important thing, and it's on the local rider. On the rider, we also address the foreign buyer statute that was put into place. Basically, certain countries are not allowed to buy properties down here, and you have to disclose if you're from that area or not. So that section is in the Monroe County Local Rider now. The species focus area list, the SFA list, this has to do with endangered plants and animals that may be on the lot. We're talking about snakes or rats, again, plants. And if the property is on this SFA list, you can't get it off. It is what it is. But you should know about it, because say if you buy a house and you're thinking, hey, I want to put a pool in or something, and there's a specific type of tree that's protected or not protected, you might want to find that out, because they might not let you take out those type of trees and you won't have room for your pool. Or if you're getting a vacant lot and it's on the SFA list, some of the lot might not be able to be cleared, or if you do clear the lot sometimes and build a brand new house, sometimes they won't let you have any free roaming cats because of the mice. So that might be like a deed restriction within that with the SFA list. Typically the SFA list is not really that a big deal, but just in those two instances, new construction, or if you're maybe trying to get a pool or something like that, and the lot's got a lot of trees and things on it, that's when I would just dig a little bit farther to make sure you're going to be able to do what you want to do. Seller financing, so this is where we address insurances within the contract on a seller financing deal. And if these boxes are checked, then the seller waives the insurances. So the seller can waive the fire, the wind, and the flood, which if you're doing a seller financing deal, that saves the buyer a ton of money. But maybe you want the seller or the buyer to have flood or windstorm. You have to be able to keep those. This is where, in the contract, where that information gets addressed. Alright, so those are the main components, or the main things that I would look for in the Monroe County Local Rider. Again, it's on our website. You can go there and look at it yourself. There's other little things, but they're not as significant, I think, as the ones that I had mentioned. So I hope you enjoyed this video. You guys, if you have questions about the Local Rider, if there's a video that you want me to do, put it in the comments. If you guys had any experiences with downstairs enclosures or anything like that, I'd love to hear about it. Yeah, so I hope that helps, and we'll see you next time. You guys have a great day. Bye.